Check 1, 2, 3. Welcome everyone, especially all the new thousands of subscribers here on our all things IT, usually open source and Linux porting channel. Now that we got an Itanium to an amazing viewer system swap, of course we want to run Firefox, right? Of course all the other stuff, T2, our Linux distribution. If you're new to our channel, since 25 years we run an amazing Linux distribution, the one and last to support Itanium and a couple of other things like SG Octane and Deck Alpha and stuff. And of course, latest and greatest, my desktop, right, running x86, Steam Deck and stuff. And the problem, of course, is before you tune out, there will be a dedicated video of the death of Itanium was greatly exaggerated. Before you question, like, why do we even do that? The thing is the same for SG Octane, for Deck Alpha. Firefox, right, what is a modern from the last decade system, or just sold 5 years ago, system without a modern web browser. And the problem with all those architectures is the same. Theoretically, if you write just C code, you could just compile and run it, except a lot of high performance stuff is using assembler and so on. A much bigger, or a similar, not much bigger, a similar huge problem nowadays is Rust. I said this a couple of times. Previously, you only needed C and maybe C++ compiler. Nowadays you also need Rust, yet another language, more memory safety and so on. So the problem is we can't unfortunately take the latest Firefox version and compile it for Itanium because first we would need to port LLVM and Rust and maybe also Clang, but that is a lesser degree. We would need to port Rust compiler to Itanium. That is of course a little bit too much for this year, maybe next year. Should like subscribe if we get another 10 or 100,000 subscribers, we could certainly tackle that another year. But for today, so what we do for now, because we obviously want a relatively okay-ish Firefox version on Itanium and Deck Alpha and the SG Octane. There, previous video, SG Octane. Who would not want a relatively modern Firefox on a dual processor SG Octane or Tezro or Fuel? Anyway, so for that we go back some years, the last version, because all the last year's version, yes, the people applaud, the audience, spectators, memory safety, Rust is amazing. I just wish more people would have our passion for a little bit older. Itanium just phased out some years ago. And only now starts the life of architectures like Itanium, previously too expensive for home use, now increasingly become cheaper, right? A little bit sad that some developers want to delete everything, right? Delete button, delete. Previously, decades ago, we supported SG Octane, Deck Alpha, because they were cool, they were different, they were reduced, they were clean, new designs and different, and having a learning experience and so on. Nowadays, delete. Planned obsolescence, even in the Linux kernel. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. So once upon a time, some years ago, we had the first here somewhere implemented first. So we're going back a couple of years, not that long. So that will be Firefox 92-ish or so. Let's see. That is a thing. If you're wondering why do we do these videos, if we want to support it, we would need to work on it anyway. And I just share this experience here with people who want to learn IT and stuff. So that is this is not even very low level, right? Older versions of Firefox, except some JIT assembly, you could disable JIT. So we should be able to just use another older version of Firefox. Yes, we could port a newer version, we could port JIT, but that's not the topic of this introductory video, right? Today we only select a little bit older version, and before you cry, but Itanium, nobody's using this. Well, somehow everyone who wants to Itanium is gathering around our Linux distribution, which is amazing. And it also benefits Deck Alpha. If you want to have a somewhat modern Firefox version on Deck Alpha, that is at like 1 GHz or dual processor 1 GHz Deck Alpha. Can still browse the internet with it, probably, somewhat, maybe. And SG Octane and so on. So somewhere around here, so hopefully not that long ago, I need to check. We could probably selectively go back here in time, which may also be something where Git might be less easy to work with. Probably selectively updating, maybe a little bit easier in Subversion, what we're still using, which still triggers some people. Where is the first hotfix for latest Rust? Firefox require. The problem is nowadays the internet search, like if you Googled something, acceleration project to integrate Rust code in Rust has been required on all. Rust support has been required on all platforms. Is that really Firefox 54? That sounds a little bit maybe required, and I mean 54 would be. I mean, I take 54 over nothing. Support has been required since Firefox first major shipping is 556. Encoding, moving forward, the goal of acceleration. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit oldish, but still. I mean, theoretically, other people maintained Firefox for macOS PowerPC for a decade. Theoretically, we could at least use some long-term support version with quite some security updates since then. Firefox 54. Is that really 50 freaking 4? 2017. I mean, it was somewhere around. Yeah, only builds with Rust indeed. Updated Firefox. We unfortunately didn't even had that version. Maybe because of 54 they say. Okay. 54, how do we do that best? Okay, let's probably, oops, where was our 54? So okay, we didn't have 54 for some reason. Maybe it didn't build. There were often build errors. Okay, let's, I should have copied away. Still no drop, too many drop frames. 54 here. So that would be that revision. So let's overstate it. And also, in the long term, cable, come, cute little cables, don't want to destroy you, still need you. So cat some old version, that probably should be that one here. So extract the, I mean, theoretically, I mean, we need some patches. Okay, let's do it slightly different. Okay, we will not use that. Firefox. Okay, we don't have that much here. Hotfix patch, do I have that? No, I don't. How do we do that? Okay, it's slightly different because we need all patches we had back in time. So let's go back in time a little bit. Oh darn, we moved it or what? Could not, not cut. So spin up this revision. And then, so what would we, okay, we don't have that much here. Some patch disabled. Okay, that's actually not, but just some SED. We might, okay, let's copy all of that. Let's maybe first update that so that package www Firefox 54. Oh, it says required is from 54, right? So we need 53. We could also check long-term Firefox long-term support releases. Or not TLS long, or is it extended something? Enterprise in rapid release. Switch to Firefox support releases. Thank you very much. So then, I mean, we could, for a start, we could just try to build this. So what we also would need to do, thankfully around that time we had Firefox cross-compiling. So either we do that first, so that would be, what do we even have in Firefox? So it's a little bit older than I thought. I thought we had like Firefox 80, but no, time runs fast these days. Okay, that is not architecture limited. We didn't. So basically we didn't have more accurate metadata back in, okay, updated, hey, also for those T2 users we updated Rust and Cargo today, because that's what we do all day long, so to Firefox. And then what we will do, because now I have locally job matching spec, okay, config IA-64. Now I have just YOLO that together there in the working copy. What we will do, if it hopefully builds soonish, why is this still not? Maybe it wasn't marked cross back on that day. Which probably we will need some, yeah, it was marked, wasn't marked cross yet. So that's unfortunate, that is more work for us. I mean, what we could do, okay, we just updated it, okay. Okay, base revision to head, let's check what cross fixes I did since 2017. Burger 2020. Better source areas, architecture, various whatever, solid news. Maybe we update to this revision and downdate just because at that point in time it was supposed to cross-compile. Let's see what we would get that. This even has a no GTK patch, but okay, we don't need most of this stuff. Okay, let's probably go to this revision. Best estimate. So this kind of things, if you ask why do I still use this, this fully, probably this is way easier. As much as, yes, I can use Git and so on, I use Git, but I believe selectively switching revisions and stuff in subdirectories, because we leave all the other code base. If you're a total Git master Jedi and stuff, leave this control button. So that is that, then we downdate that. That should hopefully famous 8353. What should possibly go wrong? Okay, we'll check them that. Package Firefox. One quick, okay, we only, so that probably should finally start to build. So I don't expect this to just build. Obviously that would be too easy. I expect at least some major quirks. Oh, there's also rustconf in or such. Right, obviously some patches need. Let's maybe start to move that around already. So what in the end, okay, that probably looks good. So in the end, what we would want, and that is also what I can put on my to-do already. So all of this stuff, except my 600 lines of growing to-do, share, like, subscribe, Patreon, all the other YouTube membership, and share, like, subscribing, to allow me to make T2 a better Linux distribution, because all of this stuff does not only profit Itanium, that would of course be too little as epic, very large instruction with architecture that is. It also benefits all the other cross-build rights, think RISC, 5, on PowerPC and so on. So we probably want some additional package over a source like Vintage, Firefox, Mesa, and so on for, oops, no, let's type this maybe, okay. So we need it in the end, we need it in architecture, IA-64 package. So let's see if it works if we copy. That directory here, that probably should copy that precise revision, right? It even copied, interesting, it even copied the unversioned file. Interesting. Okay, we don't need this here. We also don't need, oops, did I not delete this? We also don't need PowerPC here. We also don't need Spark here. And we don't need MIPS here, and probably the no GTK Okay, maybe we could see if it applies. If it applies, it would be nice. Probably, I have a suspicion that will not apply. Also, don't need the cache file here. Oops. Oh no, I deleted this one. Yeah. Did I copy that somewhere? Okay, I didn't copy that. Okay, yeah, I mistyped this. Sometimes quickly type some stuff in there. I think some manual. So now it's gone. Did I? Okay, we also do we need the profiling data? I mean, okay, we could leave the profiling data in here. Okay, we're mostly not using it. It's like, yeah, whatever. So the rest would be if it applies. Okay, disabled patches we don't need either. So let's see what that does, because then we can subversion update those Firefox stuff. Says fully. Then we have restored our working copy for all the other stuff, and let's see how that goes. Then we immediately test using the overlay and all the like this overlay already works. Okay, rust conf. Okay, some that is most likely too early. This is of course a GDK whatever patch, so architecture, Itanium. When this works, hopefully soon, we will need to invent some other additional overlay method. I'm not yet sure where I want to put it, because we have packages, architectures, targets being your dedicated embedded target, like product you want to sell. Okay, there's also some sandbox stuff. We could obviously restore that, right? Maybe it's needed, maybe not. That is just some additional font passes that are not in the I thought are standard, but apparently not the most standard. Okay, why does this? Okay, maybe we could. Yeah, maybe it's not there yet. We will see. This was okay. Then we are left with. I mean, we could. So this does not have a tracked parent, right? Okay, let's try. Most likely this might be needed. Let's package www Firefox. Was it this revision? Okay, updated something. Let's see what. What revision that was? Was it the one we copied? Okay, this was. Okay, this was the one we copied. We need some slightly older. 57 foot. Probably this one. Okay, this is still updated. Then let's copy this one again. Let's go to another terminal here. Probably architecture. I'm not sure what happens if we copy that over. Usually not good thing. Sometimes I'm surprised they improve such stuff in Subversion. Still, lots of stuff nowadays works that historically never did or was quirky. Let's see if that applies. Let's see comments there. Welcome everyone. It is amazing that we now have increasingly more subscribers, which is amazing. Also, such stuff we will of course fix another day. What does this want now? Because I want to add another other set of package overlays, probably next year, because we finally want to get an amazing release out after fixing stuff for years already live on YouTube. So currently we have packages which are the upstream latest versions, and we have architectures which could at times overlay stuff like AVR32, decade-old compiler, and your targets, like your embedded target that you would define for your product, where you would group all the config and stuff, and that's probably basically it. And so what we probably would want for such vintage and retro stuff is some additional alternative repository of package overlays that are useful for multiple architectures or targets, like this vintage Firefox version, right? So that you have certain sets that you could somehow easily group. I need to think about this more. These are those kind of things that in software and Linux distributions constantly you want. I mean, obviously everything in life you constantly want to improve, right? So there's always one more thing of, hey, that would be cool. Let's brainstorm, experiment, and add some new cool features. Comment there. Love the streams, which is amazing. Any advice for aspiring low-level programmer? My number one advice is always to do what you are interested in, right? If you're interested in storage, do storage. If you're interested in GPUs, do GPUs. Otherwise, if you don't know yet, just fix what is not perfect for you or broken. If there's a bug that annoys you, work on that and stuff and go from there, what you like, what you don't like, and so on. So let's build IA-64 Itanium 2. Var ADM log, let's see what's going on here. Okay, now we have the problem that of course stuff becomes increasingly incompatible. That is, of course, that sucks a bit. What do you have here? Can't read, so that is a common. Okay, Python 3.12. Was it import IMP? So does it know simply? Okay, that is of course apparently not yet sure if that's so. I have my real love and hate relationship with Python errors. That's like, I really would appreciate. I mean, sure, if you work day and night Python, you're probably like, yeah, it's that thing. Is it even? Oh, here's no module name built in. Yeah, that is an increasingly annoyance with all the incompatible. I mean, there are two annoyances, right? That we use so many things. You don't not only need C compiler, C++ compiler, Rust. You not only need make, like GNU make for make files and stuff. You also need Python or other stuff. And then if you mix and match, like every combination stuff breaking, right? So it's like, yeah, I didn't. That's also the thing, right? Why do I do this? Why do I live stream? It's like, sure, you sit there in your comfortable office chairs like, hey, that would be a cool thing. It's so easy, and then even I didn't think that through. I was like, yeah, Python. So where is this IMP? So IMP might be a warning. Import IMP. Where is it coming from? Don't tell me if we are super unlucky, this might even require Python 2, which obviously would suck majorly. Was it so that this required Python 2? I remember somehow that Firefox was the longest time required. Oh, we have another thing. Okay, what bites us here really is that not only stuff is complex, but also, so multiple things bite us here, right? Most things are too complex, no surprise. Most things are too incompatible. Unfortunately, even Python, I really hate that the Python people each year have such incompatibilities, right? If you would think that some glue, like quick and dirty, forgive my words, like some quick scripting language for some science stuff and whatnot, would be highly compatible, but like, why do they need to break stuff? I mean, sure, always clean up, the number one argument, clean up deprecation and neither and stuff, but it's like, yeah, 1 year later, 2 years later, stuff doesn't, it's like, for that you need the latest version, for that you need the oldest version. And of course, Firefox increasing historically being quite conservative. And I just now remember, I believe you needed probably a 2-decade-old, like no kidding, 20-year-old autoconf to 13 or whatever version, which will bite us next. So yeah, I underestimated this. Like, and that's the thing, right? Not only you would think you work on assembly, on Itanium assembly and stuff, but it's like you work, like your number one thing, you work on configuration glue language stuff like Python, like build system integration stuff. So yeah, I probably should check the history, and that is also why increasingly want better. I mean, I historically since 20 years tried to have somewhat okay. Actually, I thought I usually have good commit messages. I mean, sure, many are update here an updated system, not much commit message. But even because some people just commit, like too many people just look on GitHub or the stuff like fixes, no? Like usually there's like fix bugs, like which bug in which. So I mean, I usually at least enable this due to this, that, and so on. But even I sometimes find myself, especially with complex stuff, I find myself like, what even was it about? So what I'm trying to do even more consistently since some years is include in patches and commit messages the root error message, right? That you actually see, this was the error that this was supposed to fix. Not only fix this and that, whatever, but the error message, right? Especially with patches, it's so helpful, right? You look in some patch. So here's Python, because because I don't even remember Firefox Python 2, I believe. When was the Python? Maybe we don't even have luck. I remember we had for really long Python 2. I don't even have Python 2 in my system. I mean, we still have it. I mean, I could. Let's do a quick test if that is somehow YOLOable with. I don't even remember if this is so long ago. Yeah, some people probably still run it in production. Mr. Red's built and don't need to be important, you can just use it. Yeah, the bigger problem is, I mean, I could try it. The bigger problem is my memory tells me probably all the rest of the Firefox Python stuff will not work with Python 3. But appreciate your comment. Please, this build time is off, as we could probably use this time to update our cached data for Python. Probably didn't update that in some years. Hey, that even built, amazing. Let's see if that works around that and still works. Let's also Python. So we already built this old-fashioned stuff. Probably not updated for a while for better dependencies and okay, build time is not that much off, but still. Yeah, that looks all in all. It looks indeed significantly better. So probably this is win-win of updating that. Somewhere here we set Python. The question only was in which of the many Firefox files let's try to overlay that. I'm not sure if that is the best place, but we will find out. Oops. Wait, okay, wait, we have that even. So we copied an old version here, right? So once upon a time. Okay, let's copy that. It's not ideal that we copied that all. We probably later want to unify that, but for a start to try how far we get compiling this. Let's see what happens. And let's maybe also build verbose. We don't build in temperatures. No limit. Keep on error. We'll speed up here. Python 2 seems broken. It's pointing towards side packages of Python 3, or is it? Which you mean in T2 when you build it? That would not be ideal. What does it say here now? Is that one? Oh, wait, did you? Ah, you're right. I didn't even see that. That is a good catch. Is it even? That does not instantly. Indeed. Okay, it appears we indeed really need more work for that. That is unfortunate. I thought like some quick evening after work thing and we could quickly all that together. Apparently, it takes way more obsolete Python and other surrounding stuff like automake. I probably deleted that already. I was so happy. Probably we had here some auto. What is autoconf archives? That was something else. Pretty sure we had here some autoconf. I believe. Yeah, so it is a start. Don't really feel like patching Python now also. So yeah, as usual, you think we can quickly compile that with some old version. And then, where would that be though? Or is it Python dear? Maybe? Ah, yes, no, here's some. It appears our Python might for some reason. Oh, here is also some strange stuff, so that we probably GCC stuff out. Guess we can remove that. Yeah, I mean theoretically, Python 2 broken. Yeah, to do. As if we would not have had enough to do already. But keeping our source base clean, at least we found some obscure stuff that's hopefully decades overdue. So, okay, maybe better here. And I wonder if we actually have the same in Python 3. No, apparently we deleted that there with some cleanup already previously. Removed wrong obsolete comments from Python 2.5. Yeah, at least some cleanups, right? It's always, and that's also better style, right? That if you take away of this live stream today, probably software years ago already too complex, nowadays of course even more. Some people always argue we just solve so many problems that it inherently needs to become that complex, but I would argue it really shouldn't be that complex. Right? We should not use 25 different languages. There should not be that much, such an enormous amount of glue code and configuration stuff, and so much incompatibility, and of course detailed commit messages. And also some people keep this stuff. I mean, unfortunately you have seen today we had there some code too, but we usually have very minimal code here like that is extremely rare. And sometimes, so this I probably left, maybe someone else, but usually I don't commented out stuff. That is a really, really bad style, because what happens after some years is that half of your code base is easily commented old junk, right? Don't do that. Also, do not comment. Some other Linux distributions have also their code cluttered full with names, like people's name, like here, like Barry, whoever, Joe, Jane, 2020, what, really, really bad style, right? Source code is not a replacement for version control system, and it only adds noise, right? I extremely rarely do that. Like if I want to really point out like I did some gross hack, Exactly right. This is a growth hack. Do this in that circumstances, linear. But some projects do that for every change, right? And then you have here disabled by that, John Doe, enabled by that, or like quirk that, and it's like every fifth line is comment with Frank said and whatnot. It only adds noise. It is pointless. It's wasteful. It distracts from the source and concentrating on the actual problem. I consider this really bad style. Normally, like normal, which many of those projects also coincidentally don't have a proper version control system, right? Some even today have none. I visited as consultant so many big companies that years, I mean, hopefully today, but 10 years ago, as recent as 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, they were major companies who had none or not proper version control. With none, I mean none. Like carrying changes. 10 years ago, I visited companies that carry changes from each other on a USB stick. I'm not kidding. I saw some other companies where only some senior programmers were allowed to check in, and so junior programmers or mid-level programmers carried their changes to the master got there. It's like, no, this is not how you're doing it, right? Everyone commits, and then you have in the history and git blame the names. It is pointless to put names in the source code, right? Anyway, and so the only reason I leave that sometimes, the only reason why T2 Linux should have very few of such code lines, and if so, then usually this was some obscure thing. This is a reminder, maybe we still need that, right? And then sometimes, yeah, obviously, maybe we still need that. Like if the next person debugs some really obscure stuff as a reminder, like, hey, there was some obscure miscompiling stuff going on. It's like, hey, it's this right. But anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, we'll probably continue with it another day. With all those subscribers, I need to be a little careful. Previously, I would have continued another 30 minutes. Let's keep this a little bit condensed. It's probably better for everyone. People get more condensed content, and I don't want thousands of people unsubscribe immediately after my previously successful live streams. Dash, it's comment when, what is even, there's some typos in there. One last comment, and then I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. They add comments like what, when, and infra for documentation, and it's hidden use case. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. If for everyone new, there's also a more main channel with more main channel content. Have a good day or night. Share, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon for all the next fiddling and tinkering to come.